Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today we're going with a Gen 1 Pokemon that, well, I'm not a big fan of personally. Today we're going to see if I can beat the game Pokemon FireRed with a single Drowzee. Drowzee is a first stage Psychic Pokemon that is built a little bit different than most Psychic types in Gen 1. Most Psychic typing in Gen 1 requires you to be speedy and hit like an absolute truck, and Drowzee does neither of those things. Drowzee has more of a special defense and HP stat, which will probably be alright for us for the most part, especially in runs like this. Our physical attack is actually a little bit better than our special attack, and then to look at our moveset, we learn your typical psychic moves via level up, but the TM move pool actually isn't too bad. I may want to take Meditate as we get into the levels, but at the same time, I'm not sure if we would actually be able to survive long enough to be able to take advantage of that. For our rival, we'll go ahead and give him Squirtle. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much what they have as long as it isn't a Venusaur. We have a Quiet Nature, which means better special attack and lower speed, which that's basically our worst stat, so I'm not really worried there. We have the ability Insomnia, which means later on Agatha won't be able to put us to sleep, so overall, not the worst set of things for us. I think that we'll be able to beat the game because Psychic types are actually pretty solid and low-key busted in Gen 1. Not so much in the Gen 3 remakes like this, but still pretty powerful. I think, though, that it'll be a situation where we have to get to a pretty high level, possibly level 100, to be able to get past the end of the game, given the fact that most later game Pokemon are going to be able to outspeed us without a second thought, and if they can outspeed us, they're definitely going to be able to hit us pretty hard, or if it's like a Pidgeot, ruin our accuracy. The lab battle goes pretty easily overall, just given the fact that we have Pound. Drowzee can be a bit of a tank, and we can go ahead and start going through the beginning of the game. While we go through that, I'll go ahead and just get that self-promo out of the way now. We need 2 more memberships to gain access to some new emotes, so if you haven't yet, think about becoming a member. Link is down below. We're always working on watch hours, so make sure to drop a like. And then finally, we do have a Discord if you're interested. With summer coming up, I want to do some movie nights here soon, especially when it gets to that point where it's too hot to actually want to be outside. The only Pokemon movies that I've seen are Mewtwo Strikes Back and Pokemon 2000, and apparently I'm missing out, so that is going to be on the agenda here soon. After we finish the beginning of the game, we head back to the optional rival fight. Pidgey is up first, and we open with Confusion as it hits us with Sand Attack. It does hit a Tackle, and then we're able to take it out. Squirtle comes out, hits us with Tackle, and so far Sand Attack isn't punishing us too much as we take it to Yellow. And then we take it to Red, and it's kind enough to knock itself out to win the battle. With that out of the way, we can go ahead, head to Pewter City, and see how things go against Brock. Brock sends out Geodude and sets up Defense Curls. We take it to almost half, then knock it to Red. It does get a crit on Tackle, but then we can take it out. After that, you have Onix, and it misses Bind as we actually confuse it with our first attack. It smacks itself, and Confusion takes it to Yellow. After that, all Onix does is tackle us, and then we can take it down to win the first badge. Now, we can go ahead and go through the route and the cave, and I've already done the self-promo stuff, so I don't really know what to talk about except for Misty. I think that Misty will be a bit of an issue, given the fact that she will resist our psychic moves. We do, on the way, grab the Dome Fossil, because it's the only one that matters, and in hindsight, I probably should have taken that Megaton Punch. I know it's somewhat inaccurate, but it could have actually paid off in a big way for the beginning part of the game. I also ended up passing on Meditate, and in hindsight, that probably could have helped us as well, because we may have been able to survive long enough against some of the beginning Pokemon to set that up, but maybe this will end up getting a replay later on. We do go ahead, take out the trainers in Misty's gym, and then after that, we can go ahead and fight the rival on the bridge. Pidgeotto is first, and we get hit with Sand Attack and put the bird to sleep, and then swap the Confusion while it snoozes. We do actually confuse it, and it wakes up only to smack itself, then we take it to Yellow as it hits itself again, then goes down. Rattata is out and uses Tail Whip as we Confusion it to take it to Yellow. Quick Attack does solid damage with the Tail Whip, and then we can go ahead, take it down. Squirtle is out next and uses Withdraw, and we miss our first Confusion. It uses Tail Whip, which is not great for us. Confusion connects, and then we miss again, and again. We get taken all the way down to 14 HP as we do take it to red. Then it hits us to 2 HP, but we knock it out. After that, all he has left is Abra, which thankfully can't even attack. So we take that out to narrowly win this battle and get to move on. Given the speed, I don't know if we would have been able to do this at any lower of a level. Let's go ahead. We'll see how we do against Misty after we go ahead and clear out the trainers to the north. Staryu is first, and it uses Harden as we use Confusion, taking it below half. Water Pulse connects, and then we can take it down. After that, Starmie is out, and we immediately go for Poison Gas, which thankfully connects. Swift is doing decent enough damage, and we're doing okay damage ourselves with Headbutt. Water Pulse connects, and we manage to take it to yellow, then red, and then Misty heals up. We do still have the poison ticking away, but our HP dwindles quick. And then finally, Misty just finishes us off with a Water Pulse. Alright, I gotta admit, I'm not sure if we can do this at this level, so just to be safe, what we'll do is go ahead and head down as if we're going into Vermilion. We have a few fights that we can get through there, and then after that we'll head to Misty. I can't imagine it'll take us too much more time, assuming the luck lines up properly, but let's take a look after we clear out that route. Misty starts with Staryu and begins with Harden, and we take it below half with Confusion. Water Pulse does a bit of damage, and then we can take it out. After that, Starmie is out once more, and Water Pulse is still hitting for solid damage, but no Confusion, and we also land a Poison Gas. Another Water Pulse, but still no Confusion, as we headbutt it with a much-needed critical hit. Misty does heal up, but we have much better HP than last time, and that crit absolutely helped. We get taken to 26 HP as we headbutt and take it to almost red. One more Water Pulse takes us in the red, but due to no Confusion, we take it down to win the battle. That was a lot scarier than I thought that it was going to be. Alright, so with Misty out of the way and the route to the south already cleared, it does make it pretty easy for us to get into Vermilion. Now, we have to get on the ship, and since I wasn't talking to chat like I was last week, I actually make sure to go fight through the additional trainers and grabbing the items that we need. After a little bit of levels, we can go ahead and go to the rival fight. Worst case scenario, if we can't beat him now, there's still plenty of trainers on the ship that we can fight. And then absolute worst case scenario, if we can't beat him in, there's also a few more trainers outside the ship that we can go ahead and fight as well to the right of Vermilion. The rival sends out Pidgeotto first and goes to nearly half and hits us with Quick Attack as we take it to red when Sand Attack connects. Hate that ability. We do manage to take it out before it can build up anymore though, which is good. Wartortle does solid damage with Bite, and we miss Poison Gas twice, but thankfully it just keeps using Withdrawal. Then we just give up, swap to Confusion, getting a critical hit to take it to yellow. Bite doesn't do too much, and then we can take it to 31 HP before going down. Raticate uses Hyper Fang to take us to 18 HP, and we take it out with a critical hit. Then, Kadabra is his last Pokemon, and it uses Disable, but we take it down with a Headbutt, winning us yet another narrow battle. Alright, so what we go ahead and do is head to the captain and give him a rubdown, Dr. Boom style. We go take out the trainers in Surge's gym, and then after that it's time to fight Major Bob himself. Surge starts with Voltorb, and we open with our new move, Psychic. Psychic takes Voltorb out in one shot, and we only suffer a Screech in the process. Pikachu is next, and it begins to set up Double Team, and we do manage to take it out in one go. Last but not least is Raichu, and it sets up Double Team as we miss a Psychic, and that's a bit scary. Another Double Team is then set. We do land the next Psychic, taking it to not quite half. A Quick Attack connects, and we take it to a Sliver as Surge heals up. We miss again, get hit with Thunder Wave, immediately getting full parried. We get hit with Quick Attack and miss twice. Then we go all the way down to 14 HP, and just when I think we'll need to restart, we finally connect with our Psychic to take it down, barely winning this battle. This is getting stressful. Now that we've got the badge, we can go ahead and start getting some travel done and out of the way. We do end up, unfortunately, having to use an Ether, or Ether, however you choose to pronounce it, because there's a decent bit of trainers inside Rock Tunnel, and I didn't want to leave, heal up, and then head back through the area. Given the fact that we can find some PP ups as we go through the game, I'm not too worried as we get into the Elite Four later on, especially since I forgot the ship items last time, so I think we're still technically even with what we normally would have. As we go into the back half of the game corner does open up and we can learn Shadow Ball, but I don't think that'll be necessary if we're being totally honest. It's great to have that coverage, but ghost types in this gym have that unfortunate poison type in with them, so not much can actually be done about that. So, we'll fight Erica first, since we have Psychic, and we should be able to wreck and Ralph her entire team, and then after that, we'll go fight Giovanni and hopefully just do the same. Erica first sends out Victory Bell, and we use Psychic, taking it down in one go. Next out is Tangela, and since it's a pure grass type, it may survive. Or not. Finally, it's out to Vileplume, and Psychic takes it to red as it uses Stun Spore. Erica does end up healing, and we take it to red once more. Giga Drain does heal it into the yellow, and since we don't stay paralyzed, we can take it down to win the battle. With Erica out of the way, we can go ahead and go fight Giovanni. I don't think he's going to be any kind of issue, given the fact that we can attack his physically tanky mons with Psychic. Let's roll footage. After we get this battle and the tower battle out of the way, we can go ahead and talk about Drowzee, and maybe we'll discuss a little bit about what we have planned for the summer. Giovanni first starts off with Onyx, and we open with Psychic to take it down in one go. We pass up on Swagger, because buffing them at the price of confusion sounds like a horrible idea for us. Mega Punch from the Kangaskhan does connect, and we use Brick Break, taking it to about half. Tail Whip connects, and we can take it to red. Then another Tail Whip connects as we knock it out with Psychic. Then, it's out to Rhyhorn, and we use Psychic, taking it down in one go to win the battle. Back to the tower, and then we got some travel. The rival starts off with Pidgeotto, and Psychic takes it to red as Gust connects. Quick Attack connects so that we can take it out. Wartortle comes out, and we use Psychic to take it below half. Withdrawal is set up, and then we can go ahead and take it down. Growlithe is next and lowers our attack as we use Hypnosis, taking it down in one shot. Next out are the eggs, and that will be the hardest for us to take out as time goes on. It resists our attack, and it can also attack us for at least neutral damage. It does Leech Seed us, and we swap to Return to test damage, and we take it to red as it misses Hypnosis, then goes down. Kadabra is last, and we use Return, taking it down in one go. Not sure if that crit mattered, but maybe. Who knows? Alright, now that we can do this, we'll first start off with how Drowzee is doing overall, and honestly, not bad at all. It's definitely no Alakazam, or probably even Kadabra for that matter, but it's a pretty decent mixed attacker. The lack of speed is definitely something that is a little bit rough, but overall, I don't have any complaints. I think as we go into the later half of the game, Koga will be easy. Sabrina should be fine, given the fact that we resist her attacks. Though I can see Blaine being a problem since he's speedy and hits hard. And then Giovanni, with his thin special defense and having poison types to boot, should be totally fine. While Drowzee doesn't have the best move pool at its disposal, I know the main thing that Psychic types need is the move Psychic. Now, though, that we are traveling, this is something that I've been thinking about doing for summertime. So, because the kiddo will not be in school starting in June, and probably mid to late August, I think is about when he goes back, I'm probably going to do some easier runs. There's a lot of legendaries that we can play with, and I'll probably do some evolve forms as well, just to see how quickly Venusaur can win over Bulbasaur, for example. With that being the case, if we do evolve forms, do you prefer starting with the first form and evolving organically at its actual level, or do you prefer the fully evolved form being taken right out the gate? Also, if I can get myself a laptop that has the ability to have editing software on it, so I can edit a little bit easier throughout the week while still hanging out with the kiddo, that is also going to be an option. Whenever I get a payout from here, that first chunk of change will probably go towards getting a working laptop. We have an old Chromebook that I sometimes script write on, but it's nowhere near powerful enough to actually keep up with the software for editing. But as it stands now, we'll go to fight Koga and then see how that goes. Koga first starts with Coughing, and we open up with Psychic, and we can one-shot it. Then, it's out to Muck, who has been a brick wall for us in the past, and we do use Psychic, taking it... Oh, a crit! We take it down. We'll take that. Then, he has another Coughing out, and that's an easy one-shot to no surprise. Finally, it's Wheezing, and we can take it to red, as it hits with Sludge for solid damage. Koga heals up, and we swap to Return, doing a bit of damage, just to keep it out of healing range. But then it goes to a Sliver. Didn't think that was going to happen. It does miss Toxic, which is good for us, and we continue with Psychic at this point, taking it to yellow, then taking it out. Alright, we can go ahead and go to Silph Co, and I think for safety, I'm going to go through and clear out the tower. Not necessarily going through every single trainer, but definitely going through to grab some of the vitamins. This way we have a bit more power to us, and then we go to fight the rival. He has the ability to roadblock us more often than not, and with the way that Drowzee is performing, I think that its slower speed stat is going to come into play against some Pokemon that he has, like Pidgeot and Alakazam. We do make sure that the Quick Claw is attached, given the fact that getting to move first could actually save us, but let's go ahead and take a look at that fight. At level 53, Pidgeot is first, and Psychic goes to right about half as another wing attack. At level 53, Pidgeot is first, and we use Psychic to take it to right about half as wing attack connects, and then it goes down afterwards. After that, Blastoise is out, and Bite does a lot of damage, and we do land a Psychic for some decent damage ourselves. It starts protecting, then a crit Bite takes us down. So, yeah, we do try this a few different times, but unfortunately, we just have to level up. But the good news is, we don't have to level up much. Sorry if there was any interference in the background. My wife turned on the dryer, and I really don't feel like re-recording. At level 55, Wing Attack is doing less, and now Psychic takes it below yellow as another Wing Attack hits before we take it down. Blastoise comes out and bites for solid damage, and we do about a quarter damage. Another bite brings us to 54 HP, and for whatever reason, Blastoise tries to protect not only once, but twice, and the second one fails, so we take it down without further damage. Growlithe is out, and we take it to yellow, as Takedown does decent damage before going down. We swap over to Return as the eggs come out, and we do decent damage, but we get paralyzed, confused, but we don't smack ourselves, so it goes down 2 turns later. Then, it's Alakazam who refuses to attack and uses Future Sight as we take it below half, and it only sets up Future Sight before going down, narrowly winning us the battle. On to Giovanni. Nidorino is up first, and we open with Psychic, taking it down in one go. After that, Nidoqueen is up, and Body Slam does decent damage, but paralyzes us. But we do take it to yellow. It uses Tail Whip, and then we take it down. Kangaskhan is next, and we take it to right around half, as Mega Punch does a lot of damage, but we do finish it off with Brick Break. We get paralyzed twice, and then a Psychic takes us down. The next attempt goes better, partly because we don't get paralyzed, so we take it down with plenty of health. When Kangaskhan comes out, we decide to use Brick Break instead, and it only uses Rage, so we take it down. And then, given our HP and non-paralyzed status, we can go ahead and take the rest of his team down as well. Now, we can go ahead and fight Sabrina, and honestly, I think this is going to go pretty easy for us, unless Alakazam decides to actually attack. Sabrina starts with Kadabra, and it sets up Future Sight, and we can take it down with one shot. After that, Venomoth is out, and we can take it down with a single Psychic. Mr. Mime pops out, and we use Return again, getting a crit that I think was needed, so we take it out. We take the Future Sight, and Alakazam is out, and we take it to red with Return, and Psychic just doesn't do much to us. Sabrina heals as we use Psychic, doing just a bit of damage. Then we swap over to Return, and we're able to take it down to win the battle. Alright, I don't know if Blaine is going to be just as easy, but we're definitely going to find out. Given the fact that he has 2 Pokemon with the Intimidate ability, we're probably just going to focus on spamming Psychic until we win the battle. Growlithe is first, and we use Psychic to take it down with a critical hit that I am doubting was needed. It just seems overkill. As Arcanine comes out, it nails us with a hard-hitting Fire Blast, and we take it to not even half. Next, I wrote next episode. I meant next turn. The Quick Claw procs, and we take it to red as another Fire Blast connects. Blaine heals up, and we take it back to red, and then we get taken down. And keep in mind, that was after a level up. All the way to level 65, we take it down with one shot, and then as Arcanine comes out, we take it to right around half. Fire Blast does connect for solid damage, and we use another Psychic, and it goes to red. Blaine heals, and then 2 Psychics later, Blaine heals again, but after 2 more Psychics, it finally goes down. Ponyta's a one-shot, and then with Rapidash, it manages to take us all the way down to 12 HP before it goes down to, once again, barely win us a battle. After a hard battle like that, I gotta admit, I'm kind of hoping that Giovanni is going to be easier. Rhyhorn is up first, and we use Psychic to take it down in one shot. After that, it's out to Dugtrio, and it outspeeds to hit with Earthquake, and we hit it with Psychic to one-shot it. After that, Nidoqueen is out, and we one-shot it. Then it's out to Nidoking, and it's more of the same, taking it down too. Finally, it's his next Rhyhorn, and we can one-shot it as well to win the battle and the final badge. Alright, so what we'll go ahead and do is do that final rival fight before Victory Road, and then on the way to the Elite Four, we'll go ahead and talk about that for a little bit. Pidgeotta's up first, and we take it down in 2 shots. Then with Blastoise, when we hit it, we use Psychic, and it's only setting up Rain Dance. We do get hit hard with his next attack, all the way down to 36 HP before it does go down. After that, both the Rhyhorn and the Growlithe are simple one-shots with Psychic, but I'm not sure if our HP is going to get us through the rest of the battle. The eggs are next, so we do a bit of damage with Return as it stun spores us. Then, Solar Beam takes us to 8 HP before it goes down. Then, it's out to Alakazam, and we returned it and landed a critical hit one-shot. So for anybody that isn't aware, that means that both the Quick Claw and the critical hit happen to barely be able to win us the battle. That is the luckiest of luck that I will ever have. Now, we're on the way to the Elite Four, and we can go ahead and talk about all of them. Lorelei? Yeah, I bet Lorelei is going to end up being a problem, given the fact that our Pokemon will likely survive 2+ hits, even with the super effective Brick Break. Again, hindsight is 20/20 in this video. I probably should have loaded up on vitamins, since we usually have a good chunk of change by this point in the game. It's fine. Then, you have Bruno. Well, it's Bruno, and we have a Psychic typing. As long as we don't get hit with too many Mega Punches or Mega Kicks, that honestly should be a pretty easy W. Agatha will be hit or miss, because her Ghost types are definitely speedy. If we get enough crits or enough misses with her likely trying to use, after the Hypnosis fails, Toxic, that'll be easy. There is also the Haunter that knows Curse that has ended many attempts. Then you have Lance and the final rival, and honestly, I got no clue. Technically, dragons don't resist Psychic, but they're also pretty powerful. We're probably going to have to put the Dragonite to sleep. But for now, let's go ahead and see how things go against Lorelei. Lorelei sends out Dugong, and we open with Brick Break, doing not so great damage. Surf is doing okay enough damage, and we take it to red, but then she heals. We can do some good damage to it again, and we do manage to knock it out with about 50 HP left. Then, when the Lapras comes out, Ice Beam takes us to 4 HP, and even though we Brick Break it with all of our might, we go down. Yeah, that wasn't even close. After way too many levels, it's time for us to go ahead and try again. At level 85, Dugong is still first, as always, and Brick Break will take it down in 2 shots. Lapras now goes down, where that crit absolutely mattered. Cloyster is next, and it still does its stall protecting nonsense, but we do take it down after it's done. Slowbro comes out, and we use Return, taking about a third as it uses Amnesia. We take it to yellow, as it hits Surf, and then we can go ahead and thankfully take it down. Jinx is the last Pokemon, and we do outspeed and take it to red with Return. Ice Punch does a decent bit of damage, then Lorelei heals up. She does stall a little bit with those heals, but then, ultimately, the Jinx goes down and wins us the battle. On to Bruno. Onix, we outspeed, 1 shot, take it down. Hitmonchan is out, and once again, it may be the Quick Claw, but we take it down with Psychic. Hitmonlee comes out and only misses its Mega Kick, so it's a 1 shot. Finally, it's his other Onix, that goes down in 1 Psychic, and then Machamp is actually a clean 1 shot, and that one actually kind of surprised me. I assumed that it was going to live at least 1 hit. Now we'll try to beat Agatha. Gengar is first, and we open with Psychic, taking it down in a critical hit. Golbat comes out, and we do get hit with Confuse Ray, but we do hit it with Return and take it to almost half. Air Cutter doesn't do much, and then we can take it out. As Arbok comes out, we swap back to Psychic, given the Intimidation drop, and take it down. Her next Gengar is out, and Shadow Ball does hit for some nasty damage, but we can take it down in 1 go. Then, her last Pokemon is Haunter, and Psychic takes it down to win the battle. Next up is Lance, and I gotta admit, given how things have been going, I don't feel super great. Well, I mean, honestly, that's not fair. Drowzee has actually been doing quite well. It was just the Lorelei battle that was kind of dicey. Thankfully, though, if needed, there is still some room to grow. Gyarados is first, and we use Psychic to take it to not quite half, as it uses Dragon Rage, and we take it to red before it heals up. 2 more shots are then able to take it down, though we're already close to half HP. Aerodactyl's out, and we can do some decent damage with Psychic, and as it uses Ancient Power, it doesn't get any boosts, so we can just take it down. Now with Dragonite, we can put it to sleep, and while it's snoozing, we can take it down, because if it wakes up, it can one-shot us. The next Dragonair is an easy knockout with Psychic, and then... dang. We run out of Psychic PP, and the next Dragonair takes us down with Outrage. This does take a few attempts, I'm not gonna lie, but what we do is swap between using Return a couple times when we know that it's not a guaranteed 2-shot. This allows us to conserve some extra Psychic PP, so despite the second Dragonair paralyzing us, what we're able to do is actually take it down to win the battle, with only about 5 attempts into it. We have one more fight to go. Pidgeot's first, and we hit it with Psychic and take it to about half as it uses Sand Attack, then Feather Dance before we take it down. After that, it's out to Arcanine, and Flamethrower burns us. We do take it to red, and the rival does heal up. We do some solid damage, but ultimately, Flamethrower and Chip Damage end up taking us down. We do try to win this battle about 24 times, if I had to guess, but unfortunately, more often than not, we can't make it past the Arcanine, so with no other choice than to level up, we crank it all the way up to level 100, and even then, we still get trounced a few times until this attempt. Pidgeot is first, and at this level it still outspeeds, but it doesn't use Sand Attack, so we take it down with 2 shots thanks to a Quick Claw on the second one. Arcanine is a solid hit with Flamethrower, but then it goes down afterwards. Blastoise, we put it to sleep and then start wailing on it the best that we can. The berry does keep it out of healing range, and it does get a Wake Up, but we do manage to take it down before it can cause too much trouble. After that, Rhydon is out and goes to red with Psychic, and the rival does spend some time healing before we take it down. Last is his Exeggutor, and we use our Hail Mary, putting it to sleep. It does get an early wake up and sets up a barrier, but all it does is hit a weak Egg Bomb before going down to finally win us the battle and the run. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed that particular challenge, and I know it's been a little bit since I've done a Gen 1 First Form Pokemon, especially a Psychic one to boot, but technically this is the last one that I can aside from Abra, and I'm not brave enough to try just an Abra that only knows Teleport. Now that we're done with this run with Drowzee, I'm honestly curious how Hypno would do. Next week, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to end up doing, but I'm thinking maybe a Sawsbuck run to kind of welcome in summer. That might be in the future here. If there are any Pokemon runs you'd like to see me do, just make sure to drop them into the comments below. I do keep all of them saved. It's harder for me to branch outside of the Gen 1 and Gen 3 games since this isn't a full-time job, and some of those other games are insanely long, but I'm still having fun with these challenges with some admitted frustrations here and there, but that's all that matters. I'll be streaming a bit Thursday, but though now by the time the video is up, that'll be done and over with. But if you want to keep up with my stream schedule, just make sure to come hang out in Discord. As always though, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time everybody, peace out!